Did we start these questions or we have to start now? This digestive system.
Sir, we have started the
No,
last one.
we have not started the
Sir,
digestive system.
Sorry?
Yes, so we have started transport in plants.
No, no. I'm saying that we have done the transport questions, end of transport, you see, end of chapter questions of transport in plants.
yes.
No,
Did we
sir, we
start?
haven't.
No, sir, some are
Oh,
left.
some are left of that chapter.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Did we do this question number 4?
So we did part. Yes, we have done this.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Okay, let's do question number 5. Using the term water potential, explain how water is absorbed into root hairs from the soil. Yes, boys. Who will tell? What he is asking in this question?
How water is absorbed.
He is simply asking for the definition of osmosis. Look here, what he is saying. Using the term water potential, explain how water is absorbed into root hairs from the soil. So what he will tell that in the soil, the water potential is high and in the root hair cell, water potential is low. So what happens that the water will move from the soil from higher water potential into the root hair cell where there is lower water potential across the partially permeable membrane. Across the partially permeable membrane. Understand?
Yes, sir. Sir,
Now, yes.
should we also tell about the transpirational pull?
No, no, no. Because
Okay,
he
sir.
just asked about the water is absorbed into roots hairs from the soil. That is all. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Now, next one. Most a potometer is a piece of apparatus that is used to measure water uptake by plants. Most of the water taken up by the plant replaces water lost in transpiration. A student used a potometer to investigate the effect of wind speed on the rate of water uptake by a leafy shoot. As the root absorbs water, the air bubbles move upwards. Now, the student's apparatus is shown in the diagram below. Now, boys, you guys can see that this is a shoot with leaves. This is the capillary tube. You guys have seen, or maybe you guys have learned about the capillary tube in chemistry and physics. It is a very thin glass tube from which you see if you just put it into a liquid, the liquid rises in it, right? Then what is there? There is this colored water in it. There is the colored water of the beaker and there is a bubble in it. Now, when the water will evaporate from here, then what will happen? This bubble will move upward. This bubble will move upward. Now, the upward movement of the bubble will show that the transpiration is taking place and water is being taken up. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, the student used a fan with 5 different settings and measured the wind speed. The results are shown in the table below. Now at 0 wind speed, the distance traveled was 4 and time per minute is 10. At you see 2 meters per second, the distance covered that was 12 millimeter and times per minute was 5. It took 5 minutes. Right? Then you see at 4 speed it was 25, at 60 speed it was, you see, 35 and 5. So the question is calculate the rate of water uptake at highest wind speed and write your answer in the table. Now, boys, if you see, it is very easy. 4 divided by 10, what is this? 0.4. 12 divided by 5, 2.4. 20 divided by 5, 4. 30 divided by 5, 7. 40 divided by 2, what will be the answer here?
20.
Sir,
20.
20.
Right? So simple question. Next question. Describe the effect of increasing wind speed on the rate of water uptake. You may use figures from the table to support your answer. Now, boys, let me tell you, remember one thing. I have told you this in the first term as well. Whenever there is a question about describe, whenever there is a question about describe, so what do you always do? You use the data from the table or graph, whatever is given. If the graph is given, you use the data from the graph. If the table is given, you use the data from the table and then you answer the question. Okay. Now, what you will tell over here that you see, look here, as the wind speed is increasing, the movement of the air bubble is what it is taking. You see, it is moving more and more, right? And even in less amount of time, it is moving faster. Understand? So what you can also tell, you see the
Yes.
rate of water uptake is also increasing. Rate of water uptake is increasing. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
But remember one thing, whenever there is a question of describe, whenever there is a question of describe, you always use the data which is given. So what you will tell that at 0 wind speed, the rate of transpiration of or rate of water uptake was 0.5 millimeter per minute. When the speed was 2 meters per second, then the rate of water uptake increased to 2.4 millimeters per minute. Then you will keep on using this data and eventually you will tell that at 8 meters per second, the rate of water uptake is 20 millimeters per minute. So what you, and at the end, what you can write that as the wind speed is increasing, the rate of water uptake is also increasing. Next one, state two environmental factors other than wind speed that the student should keep constant during the investigation.
So can I tell?
Yes,
So it's the humidity and temperature.
very good. Humidity and temperature, right? So because you see they are checking the wind speed, so the humidity and temperature, and you can, you see, write light as well. Understand?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Now, boys, here are the end of chapter questions of, you see, digestive system chapter. Now, with the aid of examples, wherever possible, explain the differences between each of the following pairs of terms: enamel and dentine. Yes, but who will tell me what is enamel?
Sir, can I tell?
Yes,
Sir, it is the hardest material which is made in our body and it is on the tip of the tooth. At the
it is
beginning of the tooth.
covering the tooth, okay?
Yes, sir.
It is the outermost covering of the tooth and it is the hardest material of our body. Dentine, it is the bony part of the tooth. It is the bony part of the tooth and it is present below the dentine. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Next, digestion and absorption. The word digestion means breakdown of large food molecules into smaller food molecules. And what is so that they can be absorbed into the blood. And what is the absorption? Absorption is the uptake of digested food particles from the small intestine into the blood is called as absorption. Okay, boys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then small intestine and large intestine. So what is small intestine? It is where the digestion and absorption of food takes place. It is where digestion and absorption of the food takes place, while the large intestine is where undigested from the, you see, reabsorption of water takes place from the undigested food. Reabsorption of water takes place from the undigested food. Next one is bile and pancreatic juice. Who will tell me what is bile? Yes, wise. Who will tell me what is bile?
Sir.
Sir, it is.
Okay, let me tell, boys. Bile, it is the, it is produced by the liver and stored in the gallbladder. Bile is produced by the liver and stored in the gallbladder. It contains 90% water in it, and rest of the 10% contains the carbonate and bicarbonate salts and contains broken down hemoglobin and contains the broken down hemoglobin. Another thing, boys, that the color is brownish yellow. What is the color? Brownish yellow. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next, what is pancreatic juice? It is produced by the pancreas. It contains carbohydrates, proteases, and lipases. Right, boys?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Now, boys, next question. What is meant by a balanced diet? Now, boys, if you guys remember, I taught you that there are 7 nutrients which we require in our diet. That is carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, minerals, vitamins, fiber, and water. So what you will tell that you see a balanced diet is the diet which contains all 7 nutrients in required quantity. Okay, and you can write down the names of all these 7 nutrients as well. Now next one, using table 7.1 and figure 7.2, plan menus for one day which would provide a balanced diet for a teenage boy and a pregnant woman. Now, boys, the teenage boy would definitely require high carbohydrate and high protein diet, right? Because the teenage boy is growing and you see is consuming a lot of energy in different activities and also requires, you see, these what do we say, this protein for making new cells, right? While you see this the pregnant woman, she will also require high amount of carbohydrates, lipids, and fats, also iron as well. She will require because of the newborn baby, right? Because the, you see, the baby which is growing inside the mother's womb. Now, boys, let's do this question. The diagram below shows the human digestive system. Now, first of all, boys, let's the first part is also labeling this diagram. This is name the parts labeled A to J on the diagram. Now, let me enlarge this diagram for you guys. Okay, boys, who will tell me what is this part A?
Sir, larynx.
No,
Sir,
Sir,
epiglottis.
epiglottis?
no,
So
Sir, the salivary
salivary
gland.
gland.
Very good. This is a salivary gland. Look here, it is below the tongue, right? I told you, right, that there are salivary glands. One pair of salivary glands is present below the tongue. Right, boys?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
What is B?
Esophagus.
Very good. Esophagus. Then, what is C?
Stomach.
Stomach.
D.
Sir, D is
Pancreas.
gallbladder.
Pancreas.
Pancreas, sir.
Very good. D is pancreas. E.
Small
Duodenum.
intestine.
Duodenum.
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 D.
D is E is duodenum. F.
Ileum.
Ileum.
Jejunum. Because it is in the middle part, right? Ileum is the last part. Okay, boys? So F
Okay.
is jejunum. G is what?
Colon.
Large intestine. Okay, you can simply write down large intestine. H is rectum, I is anus, and J is liver. J is liver. Okay, boys?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Now, next question. It's written, name each, you see, give the letters of each of the following parts. Two parts where amylase is secreted. Yes, boys, who will tell what are the two parts where amylase is secreted?
Sir, in the mouth.
Sir, A,
Okay,
Salivary glands
A and C.
no. A and D. D is the pancreas, right? Pancreas produces the pancreatic juice which contains amylase in it, carbohydrates, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Second part, two parts where protease is secreted. Yes, boys.
Sir, C and D.
C and D, very good. C is the stomach. In the stomach, there is the pepsin enzyme, right, boys? And D is the
And
pancreas, and pancreas produces the pancreatic juice, which contains the proteases. Next one part where lipase is secreted.
Sir,
Sir, D.
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 Again, D, very good. So D is pancreatic, produces pancreatic juice, and it contains carbohydrates, proteases, and lipases. Then the part where hydrochloric acid is secreted.
sir,
C.
C, stomach.
Very good. C, it is the stomach. Then, boys, the two parts that make up the small intestine. What two parts make up the small intestine?
E
Sir,
and
E and
E and
F.
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 E and F,
Very
sir.
E and F. Two parts where water is absorbed.
Sir, G and G and H.
G and F. Now, in the duodenum, only digestion takes place. I told you, right? In
Yes,
the
sir.
duodenum, only digestion takes place. In jejunum, digestion and absorption also takes place,
Yes, sir. And helium only
right?
absorption.
Right? And ileum only perform the absorption. So in F, water will be absorbed, and in G also water will be absorbed. Next one, the part where egestion takes place.
I.
I. Now, who will tell me the definition of egestion? Yes, boys. Who will tell me the definition of egestion?
Sir, it is the passing out of undigested food
Very
as
good. The
feces.
removal of undigested food is called as ingestion. Next, boys, copy and complete these sentences about digestion using words from the list. You may use each word once, more than once, or not at all. First one, the teeth, lips, and tongue help to take food into the mouth. This is called dash. Find the word, boys.
Sir, ingestion.
Very good. This is called as ingestion. Boys, please remember that ingestion means taking in of the food. Ingestion means taking in of the food. Next one, the food is mixed with saliva from the salivary glands. Saliva contains the enzyme dash.
Amylase.
Amylase.
Very, very good. Which digest dash to the sugar maltose.
Starch.
Starch.
Very good. Which digests the starch to the sugar maltose. Saliva also contains dash.
Sir,
Mucus.
mucus.
Mucus. Very good. Which lubricates the chewed food, making it easy to swallow. Making it easy to swallow. The food travels down the dash to the stomach.
Esophagus.
Esophagus.
Very good. Here, dash acid is secreted.
Hydrochloric.
Hydrochloric.
Very good. Which provides ideal condition for the enzyme pepsin to work. Pepsin is a protease and begins the digestion of dash.
Proteins.
Very good. Proteins. After leaving the stomach, the food enters the dash,
The
Sir,
Duodenum.
Duodenum.
duodenum, which is the first part of the dash intestine.
small intestines.
Small intestine. Here, juices from the dash and dash bladder flow in.
Sir, pancreas and
pancreatic
gallbladder.
duct.
Pancreatic
Very
and
good. Pancreas and gallbladder. They contain amylase, protease, and lipase. Lipase digests fats to dash, dash, and dash.
Fatty acids and
fatty
glycerol.
acid.
Very good. And fatty
Glycerol.
acid
And
and
glycerol.
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 Okay, boys, next one. Calcium. Now, boys, please let me tell you. The pronunciation is calcium. Now, we Pakistanis, we pronounce it calcium. That is wrong, okay? The pronunciation, what is the pronunciation? Calcium, okay? Calcium, okay? Now, calcium, iron, vitamin C, vitamin D are nutrients required in small amounts in the diet. A, which two of these nutrients are organic substances?
Sir, calcium and vitamin C.
Now, let me tell you what are organic substances. You will learn about the organic chemistry, inshallah, next year in the chemistry. Okay. Now, there are two types of compounds in the chemistry. One are called organic, other are called as inorganic. The compounds that have carbon and hydrogen both in them, they are called as organic. Now, who will tell me the formula of glucose?
Sir, C6H12O.
6.
Okay. Now, who will tell me the formula of methane gas?
CH4.
CH4. Who will tell me the formula of carbon dioxide?
CO2.
CO2.
CO2. Now,
CO2.
look here. Simple example I'm going to give you. Methane has CH4. It has carbon and hydrogen. and carbon dioxide has carbon and oxygen. Now, methane is an organic compound, while carbon dioxide is an inorganic compound because carbon dioxide does not contain hydrogen in it. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
if a compound has carbon and hydrogen both in it, like glucose C6H12O6, there is carbon and hydrogen both present. So what is this glucose? Also an organic compound, right? But carbon dioxide has no hydrogen. It does have carbon, but it does not have hydrogen in it. So it is an inorganic compound. Now, if you see calcium, iron, vitamin C, vitamin D, so vitamin C and vitamin D, these are organic compounds, okay? Because calcium and iron, they do not contain carbon and hydrogen. They are just the elements. Got it?
Yes, sir.
The next question, explain why none of these nutrients need to be digested before they are absorbed. Why there is no requirement for digestion of the calcium, iron, vitamin C and vitamin D?
Because they're already in digested form.
Not digested because they are
And
already in molecular form. They are already small molecules which can be easily absorbed into blood. We can also say that calcium and iron, they are elements which are very small, they can be easily absorbed into the blood. And vitamin C and vitamin D, they are also in molecular form which are very small so that they can be easily absorbed into the blood. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Name two foods that contain calcium.
Sir, milk and yogurt.
Very
sir,
good.
milk,
Milk, yogurt.
central
Very good.
cheese, and other dairy products.
Yes. Next, describe and explain the deficiency symptoms of a lack of iron in the diet.
Sir, headache, fainting, and you feel really tired, and your eyes you feel dizzy.
Yes. And another thing, the skin will be pale. The person will have less energy, right? Why these conditions will be there? Because when there is less iron, so there will be less hemoglobin. So there will be less red blood cells. So there will be less oxygen going to the cells of the body, right? So the person will have, you see, less respiration, less energy will be produced.
Sir,
So the
also there
person will
will be
feel weakness. Sorry?
sir, there will also be inflammation.
No, no, not the inflammation. What will happen that the person's skin will be pale, the person will feel lethargic or tired all the time and will be low on energy like this, and you see feel dizzy and you see other problems like this.
Okay,
Next
sir.
one, describe the role of vitamin D in the body.
The role of vitamin D.
D.
Sir, for the absorption of calcium.
Very good. It helps in absorption of calcium into the bones, right? And another thing, that it gives strength to the bone, right? And if there is less vitamin D in the body of young kids, their bones, they become softer. And if they try to stand on their legs, their leg bones, they bend, which is called as rickets. Now, next question. The diagram shows the teeth in the upper jaw of a human. Now, boys, who will tell me which tooth is A?
Um,
Incisors.
Sir, those are molars.
Incisor,
Incisors.
Incisors, sir. Incisors.
right?
Yes,
What
sir.
is B?
Canines.
Canine.
Canines.
And what is C?
Sir,
Molar.
Molar.
premolar.
Molars.
Molar. Now, name, we have done that. Draw and label a diagram to show the internal structure of the tooth labeled C. Now, any tooth, visually, let's suppose what he says, draw the internal structure of tooth labeled A, tooth labeled B, tooth labeled C. Internal structure will always be the same. All the teeth, they are externally different, but their internal structure is always same. Understand? Now, if you guys see, we have learned this. This diagram. Do you guys remember? So,
Yes, sir.
so you guys simply draw this diagram, okay? And label it exactly the same way.
But sir, that label was incisor, so we'll have to change the shape, right?
Yes. Only change the shape. Rest everything will be exactly the same.
Same. Yes, sir.
Yes. Next one, outline the functions of tooth A and C. Simple.
Sir,
Tooth A is for which purpose?
biting.
Very good. Taking the bite of the food. And what is C? Job?
Chewing.
Chew.
Very good. Chewing, grinding, crushing the food. Okay. Okay, boys. We'll discuss this seventh question in the next class and then we'll move forward, inshallah. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
See
sir.
you guys
Okay, sir.
inshallah in next class.
Okay,
Take
sir.
care and Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz,
Allah Hafiz,
sir.
sir.
Love it, sir.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz, sir.
Allah Hafiz.